The silent observers. High above Earth's atmosphere, the Nexus observation vessel maintained its perfect invisibility. Its quantum mesh hull absorbed all forms of radiation, making it completely undetectable to human scanning technology. Inside the ship's main observation deck, first observer Zixtal stood motionless, their crystalline form refracting the pale blue light of Earth below. Another anomaly detected. Observer reported second monitor Rensha, their tentacles dancing across the holographic interface. The humans have achieved a 47% efficiency increase in their fusion containment systems within just 3 solar cycles. This defies all known development patterns. Zixtal's crystalline structure pulsed with deep purple hues, a sign of growing concern. For the past 50 Earth years, the Nexus Confederation had maintained constant surveillance of this supposedly primitive world. Their initial assessment had categorized humans as Class 3 developing species, resourceful but technologically limited, violent but contained, innovative but predictable. Yet time and again, humanity had defied these classifications. "Show me the pattern analysis," Zixtal commanded, their thoughts resonating through the ship's neural network. A massive hologram materialized, displaying centuries of human technological progress. Most species followed a linear path of development, with clear plateaus and predictable leaps forward. Humanity's progress line, however, looked like a chaotic earthquake reading. "They shouldn't be capable of this," Renshi observed, their tentacles twisting in agitation. "Their social structures are fragmented, their resources limited, their physics models incomplete. Yet they keep adapting." Zixtal moved closer to the hologram, studying the latest data points. The humans had mastered nuclear fusion decades ahead of the Nexus' projected timeline. Their quantum computing capabilities had emerged in bursts of innovation that seemed to ignore the normal rules of technological progression. Even their space exploration methods showed signs of unconventional thinking that the Nexus' predictive models struggled to account for. The Council must be informed, Zixtal decided, their crystalline form now pulsing with amber light. "These patterns suggest something we've never encountered before. The humans aren't just developing. They're evolving their technology in ways that defy our understanding." Deep within the ship's data cores, countless recordings showcased humanity's unusual approach to problems. While other species typically followed established paths of technological development, humans seemed to delight in finding shortcuts, combining disparate technologies in unexpected ways, and sometimes achieving advanced capabilities through seemingly primitive methods. "There's more," observer Rensha interrupted, their voice carrying undertones of disbelief. "We've detected unusual energy signatures near their lunar base. The patterns don't match any known human technology, but they're also unlike anything in our database." Zixtal's form briefly flickered, the equivalent of a sharp intake of breath. "Magnify the readings." The hologram shifted, focusing on a series of energy spikes emanating from a supposedly abandoned section of the lunar surface. The energy patterns were unlike anything the Nexus had encountered in their millennia of space exploration. They seemed to fold in on themselves, creating microscopic distortions in spacetime before vanishing completely. "Impossible," Zixtal whispered, their crystalline structure vibrating with intensity. "These readings suggest, no, they couldn't have. Not without us noticing." But the evidence was becoming harder to ignore. Humanity wasn't just developing faster than expected. They were developing in ways that challenged the Nexus's fundamental understanding of technological progression. The random energy signatures, the unexpected innovations, the peculiar way they combined different scientific principles, it all pointed to something unprecedented. "Prepare a priority transmission to the Council," Zixtal ordered, their form now pulsing with rapid alternations of deep purple and bright amber. "Classification. Maximum urgency." The humans, they're not following any known pattern of development. They're creating their own path. As the message was encoded and transmitted through subspace, Zixtal continued to study the planet below. For centuries, the Nexus had classified, and categorized every known species in the galaxy. Their technology was considered the pinnacle of achievement, their understanding of the universe unmatched. But now, watching the chaotic yet brilliant progress of humanity, Zixtel felt something they hadn't experienced in centuries: uncertainty. "Maintain continuous monitoring," they commanded. "I want every anomaly, every unexpected development, every deviation from standard patterns recorded and analyzed. Something is happening on Earth, something we've never seen before. And I fear we may have gravely underestimated these humans." The observation vessel continued its silent vigil, its sensors recording the relentless march of human progress below. In the vast darkness of space, an ancient and powerful civilization was beginning to realize that their perfect understanding of the universe might not be so perfect after all. And on the blue planet below, humanity continued to innovate, create, and evolve, blissfully unaware that their unconventional achievements were causing ripples of concern throughout the galaxy. What the Nexus couldn't understand, what their advanced technology and ancient wisdom failed to grasp, was that humanity's greatest strength lay not in following established patterns, but in breaking them entirely. And soon, very soon, this strength would challenge everything the Nexus thought they knew about the nature of progress itself. Project Quantum Leap. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the control room of humanity's best-kept secret, 3 kilometers beneath the lunar surface. Through the reinforced observation window, she watched as the quantum folding chamber hummed with an otherworldly energy, its crystalline lattice structure catching and bending light in ways that shouldn't be possible. "Final diagnostics are complete," announced Dr. James Rodriguez, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "The Q matrix is stable at 99.97%. Better than our last test." Sarah nodded, her eyes never leaving the chamber. For 10 years, the Quantum Leap project had operated in absolute secrecy, hidden from both Earth's general population and any watching eyes from above. The project had begun with a seemingly impossible discovery: the realization that space itself could be folded like paper, creating shortcuts through the fabric of reality. "Start the sequence," she ordered, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Full power to the quantum lattice. The chamber's gentle hum rose to a crescendo as streams of exotic particles began to flow through the crystalline structure. What made their technology revolutionary wasn't just its ability to transport matter instantly across vast distances. It was the way it did so without leaving any trace in normal spacetime. Commander David Chen, Sarah's brother and head of security, monitored the military feeds from his station. "Still no indication that anyone's detected us. The quantum signature masking is holding." This had been the project's greatest breakthrough. While conventional faster-than-light travel lit up space like a beacon, their quantum folding technology slipped between the very fabric of reality, leaving no trace of its passage. It was the perfect answer to a question humanity hadn't even known it needed to ask yet. "Preparing test package for transport," James announced. The target was a probe, scheduled to appear in orbit around Jupiter's moon Europa. If successful, it would be their longest-range test yet. Sarah watched the readings carefully. The project had started as a theoretical physics experiment, but it had evolved into something far more important. Somewhere along the way, they'd discovered evidence that humanity wasn't alone in the universe, and that some of those other civilizations might not have humanity's best interests at heart. Quantum fold initiating in 3, 2, 1. The chamber flared with impossible colors as space itself seemed to wrinkle and bend. For a fraction of a second, reality held its breath. Then the probe vanished, leaving behind nothing but a faint shimmer in the air. "Transit complete," James reported, his voice tense with anticipation. "Waiting for confirmation from the receiver array." Seconds ticked by like hours. Sarah felt her heart pounding in her chest. This wasn't just another test. It was proof that humanity could reach out and touch the stars without anyone knowing they were capable of such feats. "Signal received," James suddenly shouted, his professional demeanor cracking with excitement. The probe has successfully materialized in Europa orbit. All systems nominal. We did it. A cheer went up through the control room, but Sarah's celebration was tempered by the weight of what this success meant. Begin Phase 2 preparations, she ordered once the excitement had died down. It's time to scale up. In the months that followed, the project expanded rapidly. Hidden shipyards, constructed in the depths of the lunar regolith, began producing vessels equipped with quantum fold drives. Each ship was a masterpiece of human ingenuity, combining conventional technology with their revolutionary quantum systems in ways that defied standard engineering principles. The Nexus won't expect this, David said one day, as they watched the first full-sized ship take shape. Their surveillance shows us barely capable of reaching Mars, while we're building a fleet that can appear anywhere in the galaxy at will. Sarah nodded, thinking about the intercepted alien transmissions they decoded. The Nexus Confederation saw Earth as a primitive world, barely worth noting. Their arrogance would be their weakness. Humanity has always been underestimated, she replied. Throughout our history, we faced obstacles that seemed insurmountable. But we've never let that stop us. We adapt, we innovate, we find ways to survive and thrive that others can't imagine. The Quantum Fold fleet grew in secret, each vessel a testament to human determination and creativity. While the Nexus watched Earth's official space program with dismissive amusement, humanity's true capabilities remained hidden, wrapped in layers of quantum uncertainty that even the most advanced alien sensors couldn't penetrate. We're ready for the first fleet-wide test, James announced one morning, 6 months after the Europa success. All 30 ships simultaneously quantum folding to their designated coordinates. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. Begin the sequence. Let's show ourselves what humanity is truly capable of. As the test began, Sarah thought about the message they'd intercepted just days ago. The Nexus was coming, not as friends, but as conquerors, confident in their technological superiority. They had no idea that humanity had not only matched but exceeded their capabilities in ways they couldn't imagine. The Quantum Fold fleet disappeared from lunar orbit, slipping between the folds of space-time like ghosts. When they reappeared, precisely on targeted points throughout the solar system, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Nexus thought they were coming to subjugate a primitive species. Instead, they were about to learn a lesson about the danger of underestimating humanity's potential. All ships report successful transit, James confirmed. The fleet is ready. Good, Sarah replied, her voice firm with resolve. Because I have a feeling we're going to need them sooner rather than later. Humanity has hidden in the shadows long enough. It's time to show the galaxy what we're truly capable of. First Contact's aftermath. The Nexus delegation's arrival in Earth's orbit was a display of overwhelming technological superiority. Their massive ships, each one a city-sized marvel of crystalline engineering, filled the sky with prismatic light. Humanity's official response was exactly what the Nexus expected: awe, fear, and the stumbling diplomatic efforts of a species confronting its own cosmic insignificance. High Arbiter Vexnor stood before the United Earth Council, their crystalline form towering over the assembled human representatives. Your species has shown potential, they announced, their words automatically translated by advanced technology. The Nexus Confederation offers you the privilege of becoming a protectorate state. We will guide your development, ensure your safety, and gradually introduce you to galactic society. The council chambers, hastily converted from the UN General Assembly Hall, fell silent. Council President Maria Santos rose from her seat, her expression carefully neutral. And if we decline this generous offer? Vexner's form pulsed with colors that the translation system interpreted as amusement and condescension. Decline? You misunderstand, Council President. This is not an offer. It is an inevitability. The galaxy is vast and dangerous. Primitive species like yours require protection and guidance. In the hidden lunar facility, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the transmission with growing anger. Beside her, Commander David Chen's hands clenched into fists. "They're not even trying to hide their intentions," he growled. "No," Sarah agreed, "they're not. Because they don't think they need to." She turned to Dr. James Rodriguez, who was monitoring the Quantum Fold fleet's status. "Are all ships still undetected?" James nodded. "The Nexus doesn't have a clue. Their sensors can't detect quantum signatures they don't know to look for." Back in New York, the Nexus delegation proceeded to outline their terms. Earth would immediately cease all independent space development. All existing spacecraft would be decommissioned. Human technology would be evaluated and approved by Nexus observers. Trade would be conducted only through Nexus-approved channels. "This is for your own protection," Vexnor explained, as if speaking to children. "Your species is not ready for the responsibilities of space-faring civilization. In time, perhaps centuries, you may earn greater privileges." The next few weeks saw a rapid transformation of Earth's political and economic landscape. Nexus ships appeared in orbit over every major city. Their technology began to interfere with Earth's communications and power systems, not enough to cause collapse, but enough to demonstrate their control. The humans are responding as expected. First observer Zixtal reported to the Nexus Council. "Their primitive technology cannot hope to resist our influence. Soon, they will accept their place in the natural order." But beneath the surface of apparent submission, humanity was far from accepting their fate. In secure facilities around the world, quantum-encrypted messages flew back and forth between key military and scientific leaders. The public face of humanity might appear cowed, but in secret, preparations accelerated. "The Nexus is expanding their presence faster than anticipated," Sarah reported during an emergency meeting of Project Quantum Leap's leadership. "They're establishing bases on Mars and preparing to mine the asteroid belt. They think we can't stop them. Their arrogance is their weakness," David pointed out. "They're not even bothering to look for advanced technology because they're so convinced we don't have it. Their sensors sweep right past our Quantum Fold signatures without recognizing them." The Quantum Fold fleet had grown to 50 ships now, each one crewed by carefully selected personnel who had trained for years in secret. They represented the best of humanity, not just in technical skill, but in adaptability and innovative thinking. "We've intercepted their tactical communications," James added, bringing up a holographic display. "The Nexus considers this a routine occupation. Most of their combat-capable ships have already moved on to other sectors. They've left mainly administrative and guidance vessels." Sarah studied the tactical display, her mind racing through possibilities. "They think they've already won. That's why they're being so open about their intentions to control us. They don't believe we could possibly resist." The breaking point came 3 months after first contact. The Nexus announced their intention to begin population management, selecting humans for off-world labor programs for their own development. It was slavery wrapped in bureaucratic terminology. In the council chambers, President Santos listened to Vexnor's announcement with an expression of careful submission. But her hand, hidden beneath the council table, pressed a small quantum-encrypted device. A single word was transmitted to facilities around the world. "Begin." In lunar orbit, Sarah Chen received the message and straightened in her command chair. The Quantum Fold fleet had waited for this moment, hidden in the spaces between reality that the Nexus couldn't perceive. "All ships, prepare for Operation Liberation," she ordered, her voice steady. "The Nexus thinks they know everything about humanity. It's time to show them how wrong they are." As the fleet prepared to reveal itself, Sarah thought about the irony of the situation. The Nexus had spent so long studying humanity from afar, yet they had failed to understand humanity's most fundamental characteristic, the absolute refusal to accept limitations imposed by others. "Quantum Fold drives charging," James reported from his station. "All ships report ready." "Remember," Sarah broadcast to the fleet, "we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting to show the galaxy that humanity will never accept subjugation. No matter how advanced the technology, no matter how ancient the civilization, we will always find a way to stand on our own terms. The order was given. Throughout the solar system, humans watched their screens as the Nexus ships continued their methodical occupation, completely unaware that humanity's response was about to change everything they thought they knew about this primitive species. Operation Coastwalker. The first indication that something was wrong came from the Nexus base on Mars. Their quantum communication array simply stopped transmitting. No alarm, no distress signal, just silence. High Arbiter Vexnor had barely processed this information when reports began flooding in from across the solar system. Administrative hub on Ganymede, offline. Mining operations in the asteroid belt, no response. Lunar observation post, lost all contact. In the chaos of those first few minutes, none of the Nexus commanders noticed that their ships were being systematically isolated. Through gaps in reality itself, humanity's quantum-fold fleet was executing a plan years in the making. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the QFS Prometheus, humanity's most advanced warship. Phase 1 complete, she announced, reviewing the tactical display. All Nexus communication hubs have been neutralized. They can no longer coordinate their forces. The quantum-fold fleet had appeared simultaneously at every key Nexus installation, using their revolutionary technology to bypass all defensive systems. The Nexus's mighty shields, their advanced sensors, their impenetrable armor, all were rendered useless against ships that could simply step through the fabric of space-time itself. Multiple Nexus vessels attempting to regroup near Earth orbit. Commander David Chen reported from his tactical station. They're trying to establish a defensive formation. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. They still don't understand what they're dealing with. Execute Phase 2. Across the solar system, the quantum-fold fleet demonstrated why they had earned the nickname Ghostwalker. Nexus ships found themselves engaged by opponents that seemed to ignore the basic laws of physics. Human vessels would appear out of nowhere, launch precise strikes at critical systems, then vanish before the Nexus could even target them. On board the Nexus command ship, Vexnor's crystalline form pulsed with colors of confusion and rage. Impossible, they raged, watching another squadron of their ships report critical damage. Their technology was primitive. We monitored them for decades. First observer Zixtal, now serving as Vexnor's tactical advisor, had a moment of terrible clarity. The energy signatures from the lunar surface, they whispered. The anomalies in their development pattern. We saw the signs but refused to believe. All ships, fall back to Earth orbit, Vexnor commanded. Concentrate our forces. These humans cannot possibly maintain such advanced technology across multiple fronts. But concentration was exactly what Sarah had been waiting for. All ships, execute Phase 3, she ordered. Show them exactly what humanity is capable of. The quantum-fold fleet materialized in a perfect sphere around the gathered Nexus forces. But instead of attacking, each human ship activated a new system, one that the Nexus had never encountered before. Quantum resonance fields activated, James Rodriguez reported from his science station, creating localized space-time distortion. The human ships began generating overlapping fields of quantum energy, creating a web of distorted space-time around the Nexus fleet. The crystalline ships, so mighty and advanced, found themselves trapped in a region where the normal rules of physics became suggestions. Their weapons cannot lock onto us, David reported with satisfaction. Their engines are unable to generate enough power to break free. They're completely contained. Sarah opened a channel to all Nexus ships. This is Dr. Sarah Chen of the Quantum Fold Fleet. Your forces are contained within a quantum resonance field. Your weapons are useless. Your engines cannot function properly. You have two choices: surrender or remain trapped in this pocket of distorted space-time. On the Nexus command ship, Vexnor watched in disbelief as their mighty fleet hung helpless in space. Everything they thought they knew about humanity, about technological development, about their own superiority, all of it had been wrong. How? They demanded over the communication channel. How did you develop this technology without us knowing? You watched us, studied us, and thought you understood us, Sarah replied. But you only saw what you expected to see. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to imagine possibilities that others consider impossible and then make them real. The battle, if it could even be called that, was over in less than 6 hours. The mighty Nexus fleet, which had arrived to subjugate a primitive species, found itself completely at the mercy of human technology they hadn't even known existed. Incoming transmission from the Nexus command ship, James announced. They're requesting terms of surrender. Sarah exchanged glances with her brother. This victory would change everything, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. The Nexus Confederation's assumption of superiority had been shattered, and with it, the established order of galactic civilization. Accept their transmission, she ordered. It's time to show them that humanity is ready to take its place among the stars, not as subjects, but as equals. And if they can't accept that, well, we've just shown them what happens to those who underestimate humanity. A new dawn. 1 year after Operation Ghostwalker, the galaxy was a very different place. The Great Hall of the Galactic Concordat, formerly the exclusive domain of the Nexus Confederation, now hosted representatives from Earth alongside delegates from countless alien civilizations. The humans' quantum-fold technology had changed everything, reshaping the balance of power throughout known space. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, addressing the assembled representatives. Behind her, the Earth delegation sat proudly, their presence a testament to humanity's newfound status in the galactic community. Among them sat Council President Santos, whose steady leadership had helped guide Earth through its transformation from a primitive world to a major galactic power. The age of isolation and superiority is over, Sarah declared, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. The Nexus Confederation's defeat taught us all an important lesson. No civilization, no matter how advanced, has a monopoly on innovation or progress. In the audience, former High Arbiter Vexnor's crystalline form pulsed with subdued colors. The once mighty Nexus leader had been humbled by humanity's victory, but that humbling had led to unexpected growth. The Nexus was learning to see other species not as subjects to be controlled, but as potential partners in galactic development. Humanity doesn't seek dominion, Sarah continued. We propose a new way forward, one of collaboration and mutual respect. Our quantum-fold technology is just one example of what's possible when we think beyond established limitations. The changes over the past year had been dramatic. Earth's quantum-fold technology had revolutionized galactic travel and commerce. But more importantly, humanity's victory had inspired other emerging civilizations to challenge the old order. Species that had been dismissed as primitive were now developing their own unique technologies, free from the controlling influence of the Nexus. Commander David Chen, now Earth's military liaison to the Concordat, watched from his position near the podium. The quantum-fold fleet had grown significantly, but its role had shifted from military deterrence to peaceful exploration and emergency response. Human ships could now reach crisis points anywhere in the galaxy within moments, providing aid and assistance to any civilization in need. We've established the Galactic Innovation Exchange, Sarah announced, bringing up a holographic display. A forum where all species, regardless of their technological level, can share ideas and collaborate on solutions to common challenges. Already, we're seeing unprecedented advances through the combination of different technological approaches. Dr. James Rodriguez, leading the scientific division of the exchange, stepped forward to detail some of these achievements. The combination of Nexus crystalline technology with human quantum physics had opened up entirely new fields of study. Species that the Nexus had once dismissed were contributing unique perspectives that challenged conventional scientific understanding. But perhaps our greatest achievement, Sarah continued, has been the establishment of the Protected Worlds Initiative. No developing civilization will ever again face the threat of subjugation or forced guidance. Every species has the right to develop at their own pace in their own way. First observer Zixtal, now serving as a bridge between the old Nexus leadership and the new order, nodded in agreement. Their long-term study of humanity had taught them the value of unexpected development paths. The universe, they had learned, was far more complex and wonderful than even the ancient Nexus had imagined. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," Sarah declared, her voice filled with conviction. "An era where the measure of a civilization is not its age or its technological advancement, but its willingness to learn, to grow, and to work together with others. Humanity is proud to be part of this new beginning." The assembly hall erupted in agreement, representatives from hundreds of worlds signaling their approval in their own unique ways. The galaxy was changing, evolving into something more diverse and dynamic than ever before. After the session, Sarah stood with her brother and James, looking out at the spectacular view of the galactic core from the Concordat's observation deck. "Did you ever imagine this?" David asked, gesturing at the bustling activity of ships from dozens of different species moving through nearby space. "Not exactly," Sarah admitted. "When we first developed the quantum fold drive, we were just trying to protect Earth. We never expected to reshape the entire galaxy." "That's humanity's gift to the universe," James observed. "We don't just think outside the box. We question why there needs to be a box at all." Sarah smiled, watching as a group of newly recognized species representatives excitedly discussed plans for their first joint scientific mission. The Nexus had thought they were containing a primitive species, but instead they had unleashed something far more powerful, the human spirit of innovation and cooperation. "We still have so much to learn," Sarah said, "but now we can learn together, as equals. That's worth more than any technological advancement." As the three humans looked out at the galaxy they had helped transform, ships of all shapes and sizes moved through the quantum fold points that now connected civilizations across vast distances. Each one was a testament to humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy, not just the technology they had developed, but the idea that progress comes in many forms, and every voice deserves to be heard. The universe, vast and mysterious, stretched out before them. And humanity, no longer bound by others' expectations or limitations, was ready to explore it alongside their new allies, proving that the greatest adventures begin when someone dares to imagine the impossible.